Hello guys, I hope everybody's doing okay this evening. I think my voice is finally trying to get back to normal. So this is going to be part 2 of the green page for the rainbow book. So I told you in the last video that I had to put the page together because you have to have the page together in order to stitch it. And so I decided this time we'd stitch together and I'd put it together first. I know in the past we had kind of put it together. And so this is what we decoupaged in the last video. And I want to show you how our stuffed pocket turned out, which is from the last video, because I was having trouble with my machine. Still kind of questionable how it's going to work, but I figure it was worth taking the chance. I put Lucky on here because I did the page green for the color green, but it also reminds me of Charlie's birthday, which is St. Patrick's Day. So I just thought, well, we'll just put the word Lucky. So I'm going to show you how I put how I decide to lay out the page and how I sew it together. Once I decide, I use large paper clips, and I put a little bit of glue in the middle of the page just to hold it in place. Now these are going to be this is going to be the let's see, inside of the page. Remember, we're going to sew tabs on every one. I just randomly put them somewhere up and down. I'm not comparing them to the other page. I don't care, I know last time they were down in these positions, so I thought I'd do a couple up here. And I just stitched a button on both sides of this little tab. And I just barely put a little dab of glue here and here to hold it in place to be stitched. These pockets are not stitched, so we will do that. I decided to split them in the middle. I think they'll do better that way compared to some of the others. And I'm using a paper bag, and I put it all the way over to the side here so it can be stitched as well. But it's also going to be, this is fabric from Ooh La La Crafts. Listen, you guys, this is really beautiful fabric and has a really cool script on it, and was perfect for this. And you guys go on over there and check out what she's got. She's got a lot of new items in, a lot of farm and fruit and vegetables and chickens and other farm animals. Yeah, it's worth the trip over there, and just be sure and tell her that I sent you to come shopping. All right, I'll link her store below. So we've got this pocket all the way across. I was going to figure out a way to do it on this side, but then I went to thinking we can tuck in the front, and we can tuck stuff into the pocket on this side, and this side is going to be free on the back. So I'm going to stitch the back all the way down and across the bottom. You'll see when we're done and we start filling everything full. Since this side is not quite as full as the other side, this is going to be the wrong side for the stitching. So we're going to get started on that part. Let me move some of this other green stuff out of the way so it doesn't look so confusing. Yeah, there we go. So I went ahead and made those embellishments because the rest of them were real simple. And I figure that would be the best thing to do to, so we'd have time to go ahead and stitch on my machine. Now, I'm trying to get as much light there. I think that's better. And keep your fingers crossed that the machine does okay. All right, I like to use contrasting colors when I do this kind of stitching. So we're going to use a dark brown with the green, and that's what I've been using on all of them, is a dark brown. So I think what we'll do is start on this side. Everything's clipped. Pull your paper clip out before you cross over it. I think all of you know that. So I think we'll start up here in the right-hand corner. I made sure all the pages were trimmed and cut the same way. And so we'll just see what happens. Got to get my pressure foot where I can reach it. I have to tuck it in because Precious, she likes the pressure foot too. Okay. So, I'm trying to get in a position. You know, sewing sideways is a little different. So, I'm going to put this on zigzag. And I make the stitch a couple times smaller than, or actually just one time smaller than what it is normally. I'm going to start up in this corner. So that we can start our zigzag. Now, I didn't put glue around the edges, so we don't want to get in a hurry with this. So here we go. I've really missed visiting with you guys. I can't believe that I was so sick and still thinking, what am I going to do for my YouTube channel? Thinking that I was going to get up and do it as sick as I was. You know, when I did it the last time, oh, my button interfered with how far I could go out. That's all right. We'll just get back in line. Won't be perfectly straight, but no big deal. It is, after all, a junk journal. So, I'm going to zigzag all the way around here and turn at the corner. Yeah, it's looking okay. Good. I'm going to pull this clip off. You don't want to move anything underneath your page. Every now and then I'll get where I need to cough. I'm going to try to prevent that by taking a drink. But, you know, I don't know if you guys know this. I'm sure you do. That I feel like every time I'm ever sick, it's always the worst at night. Now, mind you, I've been very sick. I've had the flu probably every winter for the last 3 or 4 winters. I thought I was going to get past it. And the first test they did was negative when I went in to see them on last Wednesday, a week ago. And he put me on Tamiflu because he felt like, because it was so early in my illness, that just in case, because the test that they swab your throat and nose with is not necessarily accurate. So I took a box of Tamiflu, and I had one left on Sunday, and I was getting so sick and feeling so bad that I was like, I cannot do this. I've got to go back and get something else. I felt like I needed an antibiotic, maybe some steroids, or, you know, something. Anyway, so my husband drove me because I was so out of it. You know, we're babies when we're sick, when we're older. It's kind of funny, actually. But anyway, so he took me in. And the doctor ran all the tests again. He says, you have the flu. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Something to do with the white blood count and so forth. So, he gave me 2 steroid shots, antibiotics, cough-type medicine, decongestant. It has like 3 or 4 medicines in it. And an inhaler because my breathing was not great. And, so anyway, yeah. And still it took, I mean, I was sick, but I still would come in my craft room and think that I was going to do a video. And I did a couple times. And then it started, the last time I had done one, it sounds so bad, I decided, well, maybe I shouldn't do any more because people will not like the way I sound. And so I didn't do any until this morning. And I did one this morning on the stuffing the pocket for this page. Anyway, so yeah, and I sound pretty croupy this morning when I listened back, but I went ahead and posted it because I didn't want to mess up our part 1. So you could turn the volume off if I bug you too much with my croupy voice. But this evening it's much better. I mean, it's obviously still croupy, but not like it was. So take care of yourself. Don't wait till the last minute to go to the doctor. But I feel like usually a week with the flu, you're feeling better, but the cough is the thing that lingers, you know. And that's exactly what my doctor said. He said, the cough's going to be the last thing to go. And I'm like, great. It's also the thing that keeps me up at night. Because I'll start coughing and I'll cough and I'll cough and I'll cough. But anyway, so that's over. Hopefully it's water under the bridge. And I don't have to think about it anymore. So we're stitching along here. And I'm going to get this little page done. You have to kind of go slow with the fabric because it wants to slip around. So you want to hang on to it. And hope that the thing that's fun about this, which I'd never done it before I did this, before we started this series, but is sewing on both sides. You know, usually the back side doesn't look that great, but by the time you ink it, it's fine. And I saved the inking for last. So I didn't want to tuck this fabric. I just decided that we would just stitch it. And I had originally planned on tucking it or folding it under and giving it this nice clean edge. Well, it's a junk journal, and I decided, no, I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to figure out right now, because we're getting to the end, where I want to stop my needle so I get a good turn. Now, this fabric looks like it's not going to be too bad. This one end on this side might be a little weird, but we're not going to worry about it. But I have to say, I missed you guys. I missed getting on and just hanging out with you, reading your comments. And so, yeah, I think I'm back. Hopefully, this will be the last time I have to deal with illness. Since winter is slowly going to be coming to an end. Although our weatherman said on our news this evening that we still had a lot of weather left. And I was just thinking, didn't the groundhog guy not see his shadow? Which means, I might have it backwards. But anyway, we were supposed to have a shorter winter. And my husband, he just cracked up at me. I said, that's just an old thing that they do, and that it really has nothing to do with whether or not we have a long. I'm like, I know, but I grew up thinking that the groundhog knew everything there was to know about the weather. So you can see here how neat this is starting to look now. We've got this pocket here, and hopefully it'll be tight enough. You never know. Unless you've used the fabric a lot, you really don't have any way of knowing. So, all right, we're going to stitch down the top now. Try to speed it up a little bit since there's not a lot on the other side. I had to tear my machine apart because it's just acting weird. And I haven't even had it that long. And it was full of dust. I mean, big old wads of. But my wheel on the right side of the machine is kind of hard to turn right now. And I took it apart. I got out the instruction book and cleaned it, did everything it said, and then it just was slightly better. I had to get Rick on it after he got home. So it's making kind of a weird noise right now, so hopefully we can get through this page. I would not be happy if I had to put this thing in the shop, you know? That would not be cool. Trying to end this stitch where it looks like it's supposed to be. Yeah, when you turn the wheel towards you, you know, to raise your needle up or down, that is where it's a problem. Okay, so I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to scoot the machine over to the side out of our way and move our camera back in place. Let me make sure you're nice and straight there. Okay, so this is where we're at. Let's flip it over and see what happened on the other side. Not bad at all. It caught everything. Is it perfectly straight? No, but that's okay. None of them have been perfect, you know, because I didn't make them perfectly square. I didn't get real crazy, you know, about it being perfect. I mostly just wanted it to, you know, look homemade, look fun, definitely look mostly green. And, yeah. So I did prep this when I was sick. It gave me something to do in the middle of the night when I wasn't sleeping. And all I could do was cough. And I finally decided my poor husband is not going to sleep, because he kept moving around and, you know, like I was disturbing him. He doesn't remember that, but I definitely did. Okay, so we will ink all of this, but I don't want to do that on camera and waste time. But I think it turned out pretty good. Now, I do feel like, do we leave these pockets kind of free? Let's do, and wait and see how it acts. If it acts like it's not going to be the right thing to do, then we will definitely stitch those pockets here too. And I'll ink all this white stuff, you know, that comes from the center of the paper. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Now, before we go on any further, we need to do our spray on our music sheet and a couple pieces of the copy paper. Let me grab my box. And I'm trying to use a different stencil each time. So I'm going to put my parchment paper back over here so we can spray and, you know, be able to get those done. Because I want to have, in between each page we sew and make, I want to have a music sheet and a couple, or at least one good copy sheet. So I'm going to pull my spray box over here. I hope I can get it in here without being too crazy. Sorry if I interrupted the camera there a little bit. I'm going to keep this straight down in there. I'm going to pull out this stencil, which, isn't this a pretty stencil? It's kind of hard to tell, but you're fixing to be able to tell because we're going to spray that thing. Okay, now, I have like 4 different greens. So we'll first just try these 2. I just thought this is called this is called Citron by Heidi Swapp. I don't know how old it is, how good it is, any of that, but I also have this Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. That is a green. You know, they don't ever really tell you the name. It's just weird. They just put a tag on here, but there's never... No, this one has one. It's Spring Grass. But, you know, you have to really shake up the Tattered Dreams because the gold goes into the bottom, but this one is not very old. I got 5 of these for $9 at Tuesday Morning. They were in a package together, and I was impressed. So the first thing I'm going to put on here, you know, sometimes you can put your actual page in there if you wish. But I'm going to put the music sheet down, and we're going to do it first. And let's see, how's this go? We're just going to see what happens, and then we'll soup it up with one of the copy pages. Okay. Here we go. We're going to see what happens. Now, you got to remember to use a box, and still you need to know, hold your bottle up about, probably 14, 15, 16 inches, and then just spray. You have to just push all the way down, let go, push all the way down, let go, push all the way down, let go. And depending on how dark you want it, I'm going to stop right there on that color. And that kind of looks like a true green, doesn't it? Now here's Heidi. Heidi Swapps will add some yellow, but I don't think I'm going to put it everywhere. Maybe just in the corners. And one right there. Now, I don't know if, I got to get a wipey. I don't know if that's going to make a big change as far as the color goes. I really like the first color all by itself, but let's add some of this. mint green. I don't know what it's going to do, but I figure we just mix them all together and it'll make it fun. This is also a Heidi Swapp, and it is called mint green. So I found I hated to see Heidi go out of business with these, or stop making them, I guess. She's not out of business, but yeah, this one's going to act crazy. Oh, and I like that, though. Look, it's doing like because it's not doing anything correct, and because, you know, it's probably the first time I've ever used it. I'm real bad to buy things and not use them forever. I like the way that squirted out. I have one more. It doesn't look like it compares to, maybe, no, these are real close to the same. This one is just a glimmer mist called Don't Citron Me. And I really think it's going to be the same kind of yellowy green. I'm going to add a little bit more of this shimmer mist, and then we're going to soup it up. Because I really liked, this was my favorite out of all of them. Now, we're going to sit there for a minute, and then we're going to soup it up with one of these. And it's fun to see how it's going to come out, because, you know, you'll get like a negative and a positive look, if I remember right. Okay, let's see what we got. Ooh. That's pretty. Look at this big flower right here. All right, let's do one more. And we'll see how it looks. Now, I think I'm going to take the music sheet out. And it did okay. But I honestly feel like, when you soup it up, you get a better look. I don't know. That's just me guessing. So I think I'm going to spray just with this one green onto the paper towel. And try to soup it up again with this and have it look kind of like it's the one souping up again. Or cleaning up, whatever you want to call it. Souping up, ponding. What else could it be called? I don't know. I'm lucky to think normal today. Let's turn it this direction and see what we get. Now, some people I know, Linda Israel, that I watched do this. I actually learned how to do this, not completely from her, but how to soup it up. Ooh, I like that one. Yeah, I like that one. But I want some more on here, so let's go over to the side and get some of this we didn't get last time. Yeah, much better. Okay, I'm going to move this box. I will clean up the stencil later, even though she doesn't clean her stencils. She says that she just keeps them all in there. I'm going to move this parchment paper over where we can actually dry these on it. And then we'll bring our page back. I'm going to set it down here just a moment. It's another reason I had to wait till my husband got home, because the puppy, she will not let you put anything on the floor. As a matter of fact, she's been getting in trouble because she keeps getting in my my scrap box, and I'll turn around and she's eating the paper. You can always tell when they're still a puppy, because they're not very smart, if you know what I mean. Okay, so you do want to get anything on your table up right away, because you know, this is like going to be a permanent stain when it's all said and done. My table looks bad enough as it is, but okay. So we're going to fill these pockets up. I'm going to get a paper towel to kind of dry underneath. I can remember a time I would never have just freely sprayed something like that in my craft room. But now I do. I don't care if it gets anywhere. Okay, so here is our page. And I made this stuffed pocket like we talked about. And it does have a tag, and it has a little journaling card tucked in, a little circle tag, and a little bag full of hearts, multicolored green hearts. And I got this idea from Linda Israel too. She's so talented, and she's actually from Oklahoma. So we do share that. Okay, I wish I could find out if she had any kind of classes, you know. It wouldn't be that far for me to drive. All right, so also, I just did like an index card, and it's a little mini size music sheet. And I put the word kind up here and put 3 different little green flowers. Zigzagged the music sheet and then straight stitched the stenciled book page onto the file folder. So I thought because this was pretty tall, we would slip it down inside our bag. Now, you can do what you want to do, but we also have a place right in front that we can put this little flower. Did that not turn out cute on my Herma Linda? And I added inside a little pocket with a couple little strips for tags. Yeah, I just thought that would look cute with this big flower just standing out. Okay, so I know we still have a place to tuck back here, and I may have to still make some more things, but I'm going to flip it over for now. I did get one of the observatory books for trees and find one that would be all green, except for this little bit of white, which we have right here, and a little bit of brown. But this is the black locust tree right here. I love the observatory papers. If you haven't gotten them, you need to try finding one. And they have wildflowers, garden flowers, birds, butterflies, trees. I mean, it goes on and on. You can find it for anything you can imagine. Okay, now also, I've been putting the letter of the color somewhere on our book page. So I'm thinking we can put it here, which just always seems like the right place, doesn't it? Or to the right, if we want to be different. We have one more little thing to make, and I thought we would do it together. And then we can decide where to glue that. But I may still have to come up with 1 or 2 little things to stuff into our pockets. So I just got a large index card and flipped it over. It's been tea stained, and I inked it everywhere. And I got this floral, which is a close to my heart stamp right here. And I have used this. I used this in the I believe it was the Fuzzy Duckling that I used this particular stamp. I'm just going to stamp it once in the very center with kind of a mint color green. Now you do want to ink your stamp really good because we have one shot at this. We don't want to mess it up the first time. This is an archival ink. It's part of the little set that I got for Christmas. This stamp is super stained, so it's hard to tell if it's, I'm going to huff on it. Just bring some moisture back into it. I'm not even worrying about really centering it, but we are going to put a border around it. This is a bigger stamp, so you want to leave it down and really give it a good rubbing all the way around, especially hit the center and push down as you're rubbing. Let's see what happens. not bad. Okay, so there you go. Now you'll want to wash your stamp off. But with archival stamps, you're really not going to get a lot off it. They do stain. So we're not going to do stitching on this, but we're going to bring out our Fabri-Tac and glue on the little strips. I thought I'd take the 2 little strips, the dark ones, put them on the side. And we're just going to do this like a little frame. But get this, we're not really going to frame it. We're just going to sloppy like lay these strips down. And I want them to just kind of tilt and lean a little bit. I don't want any perfection on them. So I hope you guys have had a good week while I've been under the weather. Trust me, I thought about you guys and I was jealous. I was like, they're all out there watching videos, having fun. Although I would try to watch a video because I'm super behind on my favorite ones. And I'd fall asleep every time. And I spent a good part of the last 3 or 4 days in bed. And yeah, bed is not my thing. So I'm leaning this one. If you notice, I'm just kind of leaning it over. And you can pull them up, pull them down, and just see what you get. You can overlap them if you want. And this is just going to end up being a journaling card. That is why I left the lines on the other side, so we could have it like that. All right, so I'll bring it up a little bit. Okay, now we're going to glue some of these scraps. These were scraps from packaging. I just liked that they were a different green than I had on anything else. You know, you can do these and none of them will turn out the same unless you do a lot of measuring to make that happen. I just like plopping it down, and usually I try to go the opposite direction. So I haven't seen anybody because I didn't get to go to my crop this weekend, which was kind of a boo-hoo for me. I was looking forward to seeing my friends. But here we go. And you flip it over and you have a place for your notes. I'm going to take a green pen, since we're doing all green type stuff, and I'm just going to write the word notes. Okay, I'm not real good with these brushes, but you want to go up with a thin line and come down with a thicker line. I am currently teaching myself that. It's not as easy as you might think, because I want to do it thick going up, and I forget to do it thick coming down. So sometimes I have to go back over it and see what I get. But I just thought I'd write the word notes for whoever would end up with the rainbow journal. Yeah, there we go. It doesn't, you know, it's not going to be perfect because, like I said, I don't have much time to use my calligraphy stuff, and so I'm going over it a little bit because this pen's not super dark. But there you go. We won't do any more because we don't want to take up the whole page. I really should have done it half that size. But, okay, so now we're going to bring this over on the back side of our page, and we're going to slip it into this pocket. Look how cute. I love the way it turned out. And we're going to do the letter G for green. So while I was looking around at everything green, I just collected a bunch of stuff and brought it to the table. Didn't give it a whole lot of thought. And I came upon this Simplicity calendar that I had. And it has all the girls dressed in different, you know, 50, 60, and 70 type clothes. And I found one of the girls dressed in this very same green. This came off the outside of the calendar, and her dress has the same thing. So I thought, how can I use her in there? She's a mile long. Well, don't cringe, but I am going to bend her legs up just in order for you to store it in your book here. And just put her down in front of the ledger card. Just kind of let her stick out a little bit with her green showing. And voila, we have our page. Now, let me see how the drawing is going on this. You can see the shimmer in the pages. Let me get the others. They're still a little bit wet. Excuse me. I feel like I constantly need to get rid of whatever's in. Oh, this one turned out really pretty. Look at that. Ooh, yeah. And some of the sprays that we did look almost gold, and I don't know which one that was. Must have been the gold inside this shimmer, our Tattered Angels. But anyway, so what we will end up doing once this is completely dry, we will fold them and stick them in here like some pages, so that whenever the person gets the book, they'll have a few pages, 2 or 3 pages to go behind each color. Or you could mix them up in the book, and that gives you more journaling pages. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video as much as I did. It was fun. I know that we didn't get to do a whole lot on camera, but we did just do the stamped journaling card, and we did the stuffed pocket together. And I saved stitching so we could do that together. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. Oh, and before I forget, I did finish the other bunny book, the square one, like the first one I did. It's going to be the last book that I have for Easter. I made the 3, and that's all there's going to be. So we got the Fuzzy Duckling, which is still in my store. And then we have the bunny one, and I will do a flip for it probably tomorrow, and you can look at it and see it. It's turned out really cute. I just decided we wouldn't do it together on camera because we had just done one. But now I do have a custom order I have to do after a few projects that we can do together. And then I'll have a really cute book to do after that. And it's going to be a little different. So that will be fun. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And leave me a comment. I love to hear from you guys. And I love to hear what you're thinking. And that's what I love about the comments. And we can communicate that way. All right, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.